In this video, we are going to talk about modules, rules, and some basics of English. Okay, so let us start with rules. So, thumb rule. Everything has rules, like traffic place has rules. We need to follow signals. We go to school to learn discipline, so there we have different rules. So, in terms of English, also we have certain rules. We have developed certain rules which will help you to grow very easily, climb very easily. Okay, so the thumb rule for this is, don't get embarrassed whenever you are trying to talk in English. Maybe you are not aware of English very thoroughly, or maybe you're not that fluent. That is very okay. You need to follow the thumb rule. Don't get embarrassed. If you slightly get embarrassed, it is going to lower your confidence and going to affect your further conversation. So don't ever get embarrassed. That's the thumb rule you need to follow from now till forever. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. The second rule is, you need to be very interactive. I know this is a video, but still you need to be very interactive. When I say something, the answer should come as if I'm talking to you in person. So this way, your learning speed would be way faster than any. Okay, so you need to follow the second rule, be very interactive throughout, be it the video. All right. Regarding the third rule, I would talk to you about in further videos. Okay. So for now, two rules to be followed. Other than that, we have bifurcated GRE into three modules. In module 1, we would be talking about the basics. In module 2, we would be talking about some writing parts and some critical concepts. And in the third module, we would talk about the typical, or I would say strategical analytical writing assessment and verbal reasoning part, where we would talk what strategies you need to follow, what thought process you need to have. All those things would be developed into third module. In 1 and 2, critical assessment and basics would be covered. Okay, I hope you are clear about the steps of it. Now, let me tell you what comes in the world of English. Now, we live in the world where we all humans are there, animals are there, right? But in the world of English, there is some content, some criteria which we are supposed to cover. So, I'm going to address you that right now. Okay. Now, overall, if we talk in English, what does it come? So certain 12 points I'm going to address to you. The very first one is phonetics. Phonetics is very basics. We are going to cover that. Then we are going to cover parts of speech. You must have studied it in school, that what are parts of speech. Then we are going to talk about singular and plural. You must be aware that you are very good at singular and plural, but somewhere we go wrong. We need to learn how to differentiate, how to make certain things plural. So how to call for it. We would learn about that as well. Articles, a and the. I am pretty sure that you are much aware of it, but you would certainly learn new things when we would talk about it. Parallelism, it's one of the concepts which people find it critical. I am going to make it fun learning for you. Okay. Then it comes modifier. Okay. And then we have idioms and phrases. We all know many idioms and phrases, but we rarely use it in our life, right? If I'm not wrong. So here we would be able to apply it into our lives as well very easily. Then we should be careful about punctuations, which we just don't care about, the full stops, question marks, and much other things. We need to have a vocabulary as well. Now, what happens when it comes to vocabulary? It develops your content. We would talk about it in detail, and we would develop your vocabulary in depth. Then it comes subject-verb agreement. This people find it very difficult, but I'm going to make it very easy for you. So be rest assured. All right. Then we have active voice and passive voices. We all did it in school, but we were not actually applying it. So there was a gap into it. We need to fill this gap by applying it today. Okay. Then the last one comes, last but not the least, direct and indirect speech. Okay. So these are the 12 things we would be talking about throughout the English part. This is all what English covers. So if you know this after the session, you are very good at English. You can be very confident onto it. Okay, that's my part. After this, I would talk about phonics dedicatedly to you right now. Till now, we have understood about the basics of English. We did talk about the 12 points right now. Now, as we could see, the first point covered was phonetics. We could read that in the previous part of this video. So phonetics was given. So that's what we are going to talk about. Now, what is phonetics? Phonetics is basically these sounds. When I'm talking something, this is a sound that I'm using it. So sometimes we are not able to pronounce something better or proper because we are not clear about the phonetics. If we belong to old school in the sense where we were taught like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, F, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. So if this is how we were taught, they made us learn about those things. So then it is not phonetics. Phonetic is dedicating a sound to each of the letters. Now there is a difference between alphabets and letter. Alphabets is the heading. Alphabets is the heading. Like we say numbers. So numbers is the heading. Then when we write A to Z, these are letters individually. Like numbers individually are called digits. So similarly, alphabet turns into letters. Okay. Like their individualities, letters. So this is how we were learnt in the childhood. I will just write it for you. I know it may look very basic to you, but you would get to know something very unique today. All right. So this is how we learnt it. Now we need to dedicate these letters to some sounds we learned. If you are a Japanese person, then you must be having some Japanese basic sounds as well. Similarly, when we are in India, we must have learned Hindi. In Hindi, we must have learned swar and vyanjan. So what is swar and vyanjan? Its swars are all O, A, E, E. We must have learned about it. I'm taking back you back to school. So that is good. We would learn something good connection today. Okay. This is how we understood. I'm pretty sure if you're from India, you must be aware of this. Here we cover one as well, that is R. So these are swar, that is sounds that comes in the letters itself, and vyanjan as well we did talk about, that is k, kh, g, g. You must be aware of it. If not, you're getting aware today. These are the sounds you must be aware of. But if not written, then it's okay. You need to write it all. The first activity for you today is you need to write it all in your notes, copies, or wheresoever it is you are creating all together so that you get to know the sounds properly. Okay, so these are the Hindi sounds we have learnt up till now. Now we need to dedicate these sounds to the English sounds so we pronounce things correctly. Sometimes some people have problems say ch. To ch they call sir. To sh they call sir. If I say shut up, they would say shut up. So that sh and sir sound is like what do we call blending all together. Why it is getting blended? Because the sounds are not clear. So you need to be clear with the sounds in Hindi, and this way English would be connected. So this is a, I, u, a, I, r, o, au, ah. All right, these are the swar. K, kh, g, gh, r. Here you need to push a little more. Ch, ch, z, jh, nya. T, th, d, th, na. P, F, B, B, M, Y, R, L, V, Sh, Sh, S, H, Shra, Shra, Shram, Tra, Aksha, Nya. Now, when we dedicate it to this one, so when we say apple, so when we are saying apple, we say a. So, a sound comes to a, apple. So, when we are saying ball, so when we are saying ball, we are pronouncing a as o. So, o would come to a. Getting it? So wherever we are dedicating the letters over there, we need to allocate the Hindi sound to it. When you are writing S, so we need to dedicate S. Sometimes we write SH, so that becomes sh. Sometimes we say sh, so that is the bigger sh. Okay, so this way it goes, it gets dedicated to each of the letters. In your notes, you must see that all the letters have been allocated to the swara and vyanjan. That's how you need to recreate your own. Just think about some words and allocate the Hindi sounds to it, and you would get clear about it. Okay, so here now I would like to talk about, along with phonetics, I would like to talk about vowels. Now, what are vowels? You must have learned in the childhood that vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. So now, why these letters are called vowels and not something else? Why other words are not called vowels? Others are called, let me tell you, others are called consonants. Consonants. Now, if I leave A, E, I, O, U, then those are vowels and remaining are consonants. Now, vowels are, when you say A, you are not using your lip, teeth and tongue. A, E, I, O, U. So, even if a person is not having his tongue or can't speak any other words, they could speak vowels, A, E, I, O, U, because in that you don't need to use your organs, teeth, lips, nothing you need to use. You are just speaking. But if you say any other letter, you are using any combination of your organs. Say teeth or lip, you would say P. If you say Y, if you say W, if you say V, so V for vase. So all needs your lip, teeth and tongue, but in A, E, I, O, U, your organs are not being used. So that's why those are vowels and remaining are consonants. Okay, I hope it is clear to you, and this is how you need to see things very clearly. All right, thank you. This way I would meet you in the next topic. Thank you.